In this video, you're going to learn how to level up your piano playing in 3 easy steps. If you're fed up with sounding flat and boring, then stick around. And you can take your playing from this to this. Hi, I'm Joe and welcome back to In Harmony. If you're looking for ways to sound more interesting and professional on the piano, keep watching for 3 easy ways to level up your piano accompaniment and transform your playing. Okay, so we're going to kick off with chord patterns. We're going to look at rocking, arpeggiating and accenting. Throughout the video we're going to be using the same 5-4-1 chord progression in G major, which sounds like this. Okay, so rocking. So we're going to take our chord, our triad, and we are going to rock like this. So we're rocking between the 3rd and the 5th and the 1. Down to the F. And down to the C. Yeah, so that sounds a little bit like this. Yep, classic piano sound gives a very rock or kind of pop sound to your playing. Okay, so now we'll move on to arpeggiating. That's where we take the chord and we turn it into an arpeggio. So on our G, yeah, that's our ascending arpeggio, and then descending. Yeah, so there's a couple of ways you can look at arpeggiating. You can do just ascending arpeggios. You can do the same but descending. Okay, so we've done rocking, we've done arpeggiating, now let's move on to accenting. Okay, so accenting. So we're going to take our bar and we're going to split it into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah, so that gives us 8 quavers altogether. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And we can accent on different parts of the bar. So for example, if I was to accent on the 1 and the 2 and, it would sound a bit like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Another one you can do is do the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so on to tip number 2. For this we're going to take each chord and we're going to cycle or pivot between the 1 and the 4. Yeah, so let's have a look at that on the piano so that I can explain that a little better. So our first chord is G. Yeah, so if we take that as the 1 chord, now to pivot between the 1 and the 4, we need to know what the 4 chord of G is, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, C. Yeah, so there's our G, there's our C, but we're going to use our inversions. Yeah, so we can cycle or we can pivot between the 1 and the 4. We do the same with F. So there's F. What's the 4 chord on F? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's B flat major. Use our inversions. And the same again for C. Pivoting between the 1 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is F. So C to F, C to F, C to F. Okay, so we start to put those together on the piano. Might sound a little bit like this to start off with. Yeah, you can try a few different rhythms, experiment with different ways of pivoting between those 2 chords. And last but not least, we're going to look at adding grace notes. Okay, so we'll cover diatonic grace notes first, and then we'll have a look at some chromatic grace notes. So a grace note is a lovely way to add a little bit of colour into your chords, and they involve sliding from one note to another into a chord. So I'm not sure if I've explained that very well, but let's listen to it and see what it sounds. So if I was going to do that on G, I would play this. Yeah, so there's our G major triad, but I'm slipping. So there's our G major triad, yeah, and I'm playing this sort of shape first. Yeah, so there's our third, that's what gives the chord its colour. It's a lovely sound. Nice kind of gospel sound, or even kind of a country sound if you want to do a little bit of turn on that as well. So yeah, that's our diatonic grace note, because that A is diatonic to the key of G major. We'll do the same with F. It's going to sound like this. And then on C, yeah, so if we're using those for all chords, it will sound a little bit like this. And once you start to get the hang of it, you can experiment with how long you linger on this grace note. If you linger on it for a while, you can kind of do a, or you can do a very quick. Yeah, so grace notes, those are the diatonic ones. So chromatic grace notes are going to give a different sound. Yeah, so we're still ending up on that B on the major third, but instead of getting there from a tone below, we're getting there from a half step or a semitone below, and that gives you a lovely kind of more of a soul kind of bluesy sound as well. So it sounds like on F. These can be a little bit trickier to play. As you can see, I'm going for kind of the slide approach, where I'm sliding. Another way to do it is to do it like this, where you, or even, yeah, but the way that I've kind of taught myself to play it is that slide approach. Different inversions as well, so having the third on top can be quite nice. And for this one, as you can see, I am taking that approach. And it's really nice to combine this kind of diatonic grace note sound with the pivoting that we looked at in our previous step. So okay, so I'm going to try and combine all of these things together: rocking, arpeggiating, accenting, pivoting between 1 and 4, and some diatonic and chromatic grace notes. Okay, it's going to sound a little bit much if I try and combine them all together, but it's just to give you a little bit of an idea of how these things can sound in practice in the real world. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we've looked at 3 easy ways to add some colour and spice to your music and level up your piano playing significantly. Do you have anything to add? Let me know in the comments if you have any other recommendations or how following these steps works out for you. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and share it with all of your awesome musician friends. Find more useful tips like these by watching this video next.